Hello, everyone. My name is Sean. I am the Crypto Smith. Thanks for checking back in on this XRP video. So this is an update, right? I haven't been around much for the last month or so on some XRP content. Had to take a break. Some of you guys know, it was nice, relaxing. I was just getting a little overwhelmed with everything going on, little things in my personal life, going on vacation. And it was just time. It had been over a year on YouTube, and it was time for me just to take a little break, refresh, renew, right? Come back with a little more vigor. So here we are starting back up. XRP is on everybody's mind right now. So I want to go over what's going to happen, right? What are we doing right now? We're just waiting, right? We're waiting for the Judge Torres, to come up with a ruling on the case. And the ruling may include 100% clarity for everything and it's done and over, but likely it's going to be some good news, some bad news, perhaps kick part of the case on down the road and put it in front of a jury, and then in that instance, we'd probably be looking at another couple of years before it is 100% resolved. So really what we're looking for is XRP a security now, right? In today's market, in secondary markets, is it a security? That's what we're looking to hear from the judge in this ruling. So one of the big items that have come out in this case is the Hinman emails or Hinman documents. Now, so before we go into any more details, I want to give you three important dates to think about, right? These aren't any hard and fast date. These are general guesses, except for the first one. The first one is June 13th. Okay, so what happens June 13th? June 13th, the Hinman emails are going to be released to the public, right? And you remember the Hinman emails, it took the judge 6 different occasions to tell the SEC to hand over the Hinman emails and documents to the legal team of Ripple, and they didn't, and they decided to go ahead and file objection after objection after objection, and the judge pretty much dismissed all of those and said, no, you're going to hand these over. So finally, they were handed over, and now we've come down to the point where June 13th, they are going to be open to the public. There's also this one here, and I just want to point out Jeremy Hogan. He's an attorney. He's been following the case. Really smart. He helps break things down for us. Says the judge in the Ripple case has been making major rulings about every 9 weeks, right? And give some dates here. And the only major ruling left is summary judgment. That's the one we're waiting on. And that would come out to mid-July. So mid next month could be the date, right? We have no idea. This is pure speculation. Even he says not a prediction, just a pattern. So something else to at least consider. Now, the other date is September. So September of this year, essentially what would happen is there is a list that Congress sees. The list basically includes all of the judges that are out there that haven't made a ruling in 6 months or more. So they get put on that list. And generally speaking, judges don't like to be on that list. So they try to get their rulings in before it hits the list. And September is that time where the next list would come out. So it could be all the way into September before we actually get a ruling on this, and she rules summary judgment. So those are the 3 dates to consider. But then again, this is all just speculation. It could be at any time. It could be tomorrow. It could be 3 months from now. It could be 9 months from now. We don't really know. We're just guessing. But it's fun to guess. We do that in crypto all the time. So regarding the Hinman emails, Hinman emails unveiling inevitable, affirms Deaton and Ripple CTO. Let's see. Prominent pro XRP attorney John Deaton and Ripple CTO David Schwartz have disclosed unsealing William Hinman's emails is inevitable, even if the SEC settles with Ripple. Right now, I don't agree with that 100% because a stipulation of settlement could be the Hinman emails get sealed, or at least that they're not released from the legal team of Ripple. So that could put a hindrance on whether we're going to see them or not. And down here it says the court ruling had it that the drafts of the Hinman speech were scheduled for publicizing on June 13th, right? It's 9 days from now. But despite the ruling, some XRP enthusiasts speculated that a settlement between Ripple and the SEC might not define the release of these documents. That's what I was just saying. That's why I didn't agree 100% because the SEC could say, we'll settle and we'll give you a favorable settlement, but you're going to do this for us, right? And that's, I think those things happen all the time. Now, why are the Hinman emails so important? So just to take you back a little bit, in 2018, in June, Bill Hinman, who was with the SEC at the time, gave a speech and stated that Ethereum, basically Bitcoin and Ethereum, were the only two that were not securities. And he was fairly certain of that, somehow that it started out as a security, Ethereum did, right? That's what he was talking about. And so Bill Hinman basically gave a speech in June of 2018, and he was stating that Bitcoin and Ethereum were not securities, even though Ethereum started out as a security, but magically became not a security at some point after that, and then didn't state it about anything else. And of course, the price of Ethereum skyrocketed after that. So there's a lot of buzz going around about how that opinion was formed. Right. And then they find out that there's a bunch of emails at the SEC where they are all directing and giving information and giving ideas about how we could do the speech. And I think there were 56 drafts of those from all different kinds of people at the SEC. Now, those emails and all of that information is sitting at Ripple legal team office. Right. And Brad Garlinghouse has been able to see all of that information. And back in the beginning of the year, when they finally handed those emails over, and Brad Garlinghouse was able to read them, he says people are going to be stunned at the SEC's behavior when Hinman emails come to light, right? And so he knows what's going on in there. And even down here, he is saying, when the documents come to light, I think you will see more kind of like, how is it possible the SEC decided to bring a case against Ripple, given what they were saying within their own walls? And it was also mentioned that they said that XRP was mentioned in these emails. So at the SEC at the time when they were forming this speech, they were probably throwing around different cryptocurrency projects or different tokens and how to deal with them or how to talk about them or what they should say. And so maybe they were talking about XRP in a good light, but Bill Hinman decided to just go ahead and erase that out of it and give his own speech and just mention Ethereum. As a point of fact. I don't know. We may never know. Hopefully in 9 days, we will see just how bad the SEC is. So right down here regarding Hinman's speech, bears mentioning during June 2018 speech, Hinman, who was the director of the SEC's Corporation of Finance, clarified that Bitcoin and Ethereum are non-securities. According to Hinman, both cryptocurrencies are sufficiently decentralized and thus should not be subject to U.S. securities laws. And it's really funny because decentralization has nothing to do with whether they're securities or not. I don't think back in 1933 when securities laws were created that they mentioned anything about decentralization. So I thought that was funny. They're kind of adding their own litmus test in there to see what a security is. So apparently you just have to be decentralized. But as far as the SEC goes, and then you're non-security. So that's what's going on right now. Hinman emails are a vitally important aspect to this case and could be a great aspect for future cases if the SEC decides to bring cases to other projects who had no legal clarity. And now just for a fun part, what is going to happen after the SEC lawsuit is over, right? Or at least after we get clarity for XRP, right? That's what we're hoping for that comes out of this ruling, this summary judgment ruling. John Deaton, right? He's the attorney, filed the amicus brief with 76,000 different XRP holders in this Ripple versus SEC case. He is anticipating XRP price at $10 following a lawsuit victory. Now, I know all of this is just speculation. Clearly, nobody knows what's going to happen. But he's, I think, and rightly so, and I would definitely agree with him, even though he doesn't really do price predictions. He's suggesting it could hit an all-time high at $10 following the lawsuit against the SEC addressing the FOMO phenomenon among investors, right? We all know that is real, especially in crypto. People have the fear of missing out, and they're just going to start piling into it. And then if they get a non-security designation from the judge, and so that means that technically XRP is the only cryptocurrency that will have legal clarity, right? And that's, I think, is going to create a huge buzz and create a lot of FOMO, not just for retail investors, but for institutional investors as well, because they know XRP and Ripple are going to be huge in the future. And if they don't get in now, they're going to be paying much higher prices in the future. I'm going to tend to agree with it. Obviously, we need to see $1 first. That would be nice. And then we need to hit the all-time high again, which is about $3.84. So if we can hit $1 and then at some point hit $4, right, then we can talk about price discovery. Where does it go from there? Where does it land? I think at that point it's going to go up some more as long as people are still FOMOing in and institutions are starting to come on board. And then it may plateau a little bit or maybe come down as retail investors start to take profits. And then we'll realize that slow climb that's going to be into the next several years. And hopefully, XRP will get up there in the $20, $50, $100. Who knows where it can end? But it's always fun to dream about that. So That's where I'm at with XRP. That's it for me. We'll see you guys next time.